What's going on?
What's up, everyone? Welcome in.
Welcome
Happy
to
Sunday.
another episode of YenYorkCity Live podcast, live from New York City.
Which is supposedly going to have a blizzard of the century or something.
Give me a break with this snow.
It just melted. And now we have to embrace the snow again.
February 22nd, 2026. This fine snowy day.
Wait, you said 26? Okay.
26.
Oh, yeah. Because we're almost in March, and I can't believe it.
Years flying. Crazy.
So today we have an amazing guest, guys. I'm very excited because, it's very rare for me to find, fellow spiritual badasses, because we are here to introduce to you somebody that is not only a multi-instrumental artist. I just found out he's a tattoo artist too.
Yeah. Some fun stuff. I'd like to talk about that because I got a whole sleeve here, and I need some guidance on how do I complete this, because it's been some time since I had this finished. I only got the top half colored. I need the bottom half.
And he also, from what I've heard, has traveled in a lot of places, not only here in the States but around the world. He just came from Nepal.
So we've heard, yeah. You did some background on Nepal. I don't know too much about Nepal very well.
Mount Everest?
Is that where Nepal is?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So I just to refresh your memory, that's just one of the amazing things over there. I just saw not a podcast. It was a YouTube vlog, and I was in tears. I was trying to explain to you, like you were, downstairs, and I was like, oh my god! And then I was like in tears, and I was like, you know what I just saw? I saw somebody go up, and it took them like 8 days or 9 days to go up to the top, and I didn't know it was like what it was. Like, for some reason, I just thought it was different in my mind. And there's little villages that you go through, and then you have like little stops, and then sometimes there's like hot showers and like hot drinks, and then you have to keep going, and then there's another stop and you have to rest. And I was like, I need to live my life and do more adventures like that. Like, I just started tearing up when she finally made it, and I was like so proud of her. I don't even know her, but I followed her on YouTube. I think her name is Hippie in Sneakers. I think that's her name. And she's amazing. She's from the Netherlands. I love that, because we've had a few friends here that's from the Netherlands, and I just love hearing stories about people traveling the world and just like the culture, and it's just beautiful to see that. And I'm very emotional when I see people's journeys.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to probably get emotional with Jim. And also, we met him through Jed. So Jed. If you are in the chat, let me see. Is he in the chat?
I haven't seen Jed pop in yet, but I'm sure he will be.
Jed. Yes. And Jed has a lot of cool stories too, and I'm sure he's going to have some in the chat. So if you guys are in the...
If you're viewing and you're on YouTube, subscribe so you have access to the chat. I believe it shouldn't take too long for it to show that you're subscribed. That way you can be part of the conversation. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to put in any questions for Jim in the chat when we have him on. If you have any questions about his experiences that you've heard, feel free. If you're also, real quick before we get Jim on, just want to make a note that we have opportunities for ad placements. If you have a business or a band or anything that you want to present to our audience that you feel that you would like to to throw an ad on our screen, feel free to reach out to us on our website at YenYorkCity.com for more information.
Speaking of, I don't think we've spoken enough about upcoming show we're having. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a 90s theme. Nostalgia is the place. It's in Long Island, and it's a venue bar, but it's themed like 90s. And it's going to be fun. And there's going to be a few other bands there performing, and it's going to be soon before you know it.
Yeah.
In April.
So keep an eye out on that through Sky Museum, our band, skymuseummusic.com. Sign up to our newsletter so that you get more information about what we have going on with the band itself. But yeah, let's Jed's in the chat. There he is.
Jed, are you in the chat? I can bring up the chat because I
It's
need
right
to
there.
see you. Okay. All right, I see you. What's up, Jed? Yeah, he's part of Earth Passenger, if you don't know, bass player. So without further ado, I am excited to introduce you guys, speaking of Earth Passenger, Jim LoPresti from Earth Passenger. We're going to get to know him right now. Jim, are you ready for me?
Yes, I am.
All right,
He's
let's do this.
ready.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it.
him on the screen in 3, 2, 1. Look at this beautiful man.
Woo!
Well,
Love it.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, I love a man with a beard, as you can see.
Got
That's
a
a
nice
great beard.
beard. I like yours. It's nice and
No,
smooth.
I definitely have beard envy for the length of that. That's a good looking beard right there.
Does
I
yours
love
get
it.
like really wavy as it gets longer?
You know, I haven't gotten too crazy. My wife's kind of, she's not totally into the big burly stuff, I think. So it gets to a point and she starts like giving me a little eyeball and then it gets trimmed back down. So I don't know. I have yet to
It's
discover.
like the
Maybe
opposite with me. He's like, should I
Yeah,
trim it?
like-
I'm like, no.
Yeah. Once it gets to like a certain length, it gets a little like crazy. Then you have to really like maintain the shape a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
Jim, when
it
I
is.
met him, he was bald and had no facial hair. And look at what I've transformed him into.
Wow, amazing.
But yeah, I mean, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for giving us this time and space to get to know you.
Thanks for asking me.
Jed is in the chat, and also Mermaid. Is that what?
Mermaid Mom. And then
Mermaid Mom.
Scott
Oh,
Clark.
And
That's
Scott.
me. Oh, awesome.
Welcome
That's
in.
Scott's old Bridgeport friends of Jed's as well, so that's great.
So I just saw this video of you in Nepal with your buddies. Is he
Oh,
one of
yeah.
them?
No, those actually that crew that I was in Nepal with was all people I had just met. I didn't know them actually, so I went through a I guess company, for lack of a better word, that this guy that organizes these rides. So I had met everyone for the first time actually on that trip.
Wow. Yeah, because I saw that that vlog, and it was so nice to see. Like, what was one of your favorite experiences going there, traveling there?
It's the whole trip itself was incredibly overwhelming. I was looking forward to going to the temples, so there were some major temples that we had stopped at and visited, so that was pretty profound experience. Favorite, I don't know, that's hard to say because there was these very little subtle things that happened that I felt was amazing. You know, I had conversations with locals on the side of the road that was just as interesting and a great experience as the big overwhelming temple. So it's hard to say, pinpoint one thing. The whole trip was just amazing. Insane trip.
How long were you there for?
I was out there, I believe it was like 14 or 15 days, and
Oh,
I was
that's
on the motorcycle for 10 of those days, not nonstop, almost nonstop, pretty much. So
It was you going over that bridge on the motorcycle?
Yes. Yeah.
That looks scary. How was
Yeah,
that
it's-
like? Oh my God, I can just imagine the thrill.
Yeah, that's the longest and highest, I believe, suspension bridge in Nepal, and it's pretty terrifying. You know, there was moments out there that me personally, I just was completely terrified, but I had this opportunity to put those feelings aside and just, it was like, just risk it, and it was awesome. Once the feeling getting over that bridge was pretty incredible.
Like riding a roller coaster for the first time.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So you were riding, you said, for 10 days,
Yes.
and then after that you were on foot.
Well, I was, two of those days getting into Nepal was like settling in, get acclimated because you have the elevation, meeting the crew, getting to know each other, getting familiar with the motorcycles that we were going to be driving, then getting on the road, and then actually taking the trip, which was altogether, I'm not sure about the mileage. We headed up to Mukta North, which was the highest point, and really incredible sacred place, and then back down to where we started, back to Kathmandu, and then we had 2 days basically to decompress, which it's mentally and physically draining. So to jump back on a plane would have been a lot. So we had 2 days in the hotel basically to kind of relax and eat some food and just get our heads together before we had to take another. I mean, I was traveling to Nepal is almost 24 hours in the air on the airplane. It's insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I didn't know that it was that long.
What was it like at that elevation, being like the air pressure is probably a lot thinner, like the air is thinner, and like, how did you adjust?
It was thankfully better. I did better than I expected. I did have I was nervous about that, and the biggest thing is hydration. So the crew that I was with, they just, if you thought you were okay and hydrated, they were like, no, here's water. So every time we would stop and take a rest on the motorcycles, there was a chase truck that was filled with medical supplies, water, bike parts, and they basically, you'd stop and stretch, and the guys would come out with big packs of water, and just like they're like, drink it. So it was, you had to just really go nuts with the hydration. So that was helpful. I had one day that was a little tough for me. I was feeling a little like headachy and out of sorts, but all in all, nothing major, thankfully.
So after all that hydration, how many times did you have to use the bathroom? Make pit stops?
And I was worried about that too, because you have areas that the plumbing is very questionable out there in the small villages, and then the hotels that we managed to stay at were actually really updated and stuff. But there was a lot of stops that were they were a little frightening to walk into these little stalls that was basically concrete with a hole in it.
Wow.
But it was more important to stay hydrated, and I worried about going to the bathroom afterwards. It was fine.
It's very humbling, and to see how everyone there like treats you when you go there. It's so beautiful to see everything, the culture. And it's when you come back, you're like, wow, you see so many things that you take for granted too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it was life-changing. This was on my list of things I wanted to do for quite some time. I had actually planned it for my 50th birthday, which fell in line with the pandemic. So I was all signed up and had my deposit to go on this trip, and then the pandemic hit. So it was canceled, of course. And then I also had from that time to this, when I went, finally, I had some health issues come up. So it was like, I think it was meant to be the timing of everything. So I got myself all fixed up and healthy.
Ready to
and
go.
Ready to go. And I got a tune up and a couple new parts in my heart. And then I was like, it's time to start thinking about this. So probably like 2 years ago, I was really starting to investigate again, put my deposit down, and then it was time to go. So yeah, it was incredible.
Wow.
So you took your motorcycle out there, right? How did you manage to do that? Did you ship it over? I actually didn't. This company, actually, Motorcycle Sherpa, Bear is the guy's name. He basically has he hosts a bunch of trips. So there's Nepal, there's India, there's Mongolia, Bhutan. He added one in the French Alps. So he has the bikes are there. They're stored in each area that he does these trips. So Nepal has their own fleet of motorcycles that get maintained, and he's out there a couple times a year. So we didn't have to. So the bikes were all the same. Everyone rode the same kind of motorcycle, which is a Royal Enfield Himalayan, appropriately named for the kind of terrain that we were doing.
Yeah.
And so it was basically, it's so well organized. You basically get off the airplane and this guy picks us up and takes you by the hand, and it's like, here, we're going here for the first night. This is what's going to happen. And then, it's a challenging ride. You definitely have to go into it with some skills. I learned a lot, and it's the hardest kind of riding I've ever done in my life. And there were actually there were some times that were really terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you. And I could tell you that the bridge was the least of the things that I experienced.
Wow,
personally.
really?
Yeah, I mean, it was rocks and mud and sand and washouts and landslides,
and cliffs.
Cliffs, insane elevation. it's a really intense thing, and it's so intense that to experience it with a group of people like that, and then honestly, like survive
To tell the tale.
Yeah, and it's like the end of the trip. Seriously, we got to our last stop, and you're always questioning, like, the last day, like, is this it? Are we done? Because it was slow going, because you can't go over a certain speed because the roads are so treacherous, and then the cities are so insane, and you're resting a lot, which is great. Then we finally got to our last stop, and we're like looking at each other like, are we done? Like, everyone's just spent. You're dirty, you're tired, and we were done. And our leader was like, you guys, you did it. And it was like, I could have just broke down and cried, because I was like, I want to kiss the ground. I'm like, yeah, intense, just intense.
And that's what I mean. Like, when I see people's vlogs traveling and their experiences, I get so involved and emotional with them telling the story. And I think that's why I love also doing podcasts, because it makes you see things from a different perspective of somebody's emotional journey. You know, it's all in there, and we're all human, and we're all having this experience together. And when you tell me that, I can imagine you got really emotional, and you were like, man, like, I'm so glad I did this trip. I'm so glad that I had this experience in my life.
Yeah, like I said, it was so hard. I actually did travel with one friend, so I was able to fly with a buddy of mine that did the trip with me, and we got to the point, we must have been 6-7 days into it, and it was so trying on your mind and body. You know, we were kind of like, we'd get to the hotel and wash up and just be tired and look at each other, and I was like, are you you're still having fun? And he's like, I'm not sure, you know. So it was really mixed emotions. Ultimately, like I said, it changed my life, and I'm so glad that I did it. I would probably go back to Nepal to experience it, not on the motorcycle, just so I could have more time with some of the locals, and spend a little bit more time in some of the temples and whatnot, and take a little more time there. But
Mermaid
for me,
Mom said, and you learned the language too, she said.
I was studying for a couple of months before I went. I just wanted to have some basics down, and it's a very difficult language. But as I got out there, once I tried to use it, it was like the people were so appreciative and surprised, and it was like you can engage, and it was just really simple stuff that I have since not even practiced. You know, which I should be doing, but just I did that honestly because I hadn't sat in, like, I did actually a Zoom classroom with a Nepal native teacher, and it was just good to kind of open up that part of my brain again, because I hadn't done anything like that in so long. So yeah, it was really cool. It was super cool.
Warrior, what's up, Warrior? Welcome in. Jed says EP tour to Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, music is, you know, the universal, so you never know. I think I sent him a link to a venue out there that looked pretty rad, so, which is great, because you have these ideas of what you expect when you travel to another country or another area of the world, and then they're kind of shattered when you get out there and you realize you have so many similarities with people. And, you know, I sat at one of the hotels and watched this group of guys ride up on bikes. The biggest source of transportation out there is scooters and motorcycles, and they cruise up to the hotel, and then one guy's got a guitar on his back, and they're like setting up to play at the hotel. I'm in the hotel outside lobby area, whatever, having a drink, and these guys are setting up, and I'm like, they're kind of warming up, and next thing you know, they rip into Pearl Jam, and I'm like, and they were amazing. Like, it's, you know, it was just incredible. You just have that connection with the music was like, it's awesome. So it was super cool. And I went to a small bar one night that the kid there, we got into a conversation about music, and he asked about the band. So he threw it up on the speakers at the bar. So I'm sitting in this little bar listening to Earth Passenger, and it was completely surreal for me. I'm like, wow, this is so wild, you know.
Nepal.
Yeah.
I saw that clip. You put it in the vlog, right? And you were in that little bar, and then the guy was like, yeah, you were like, and I heard it. I'm like, that's Earth Passenger.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Speaking of, are you signed by a label?
Yeah, I know Jed mentioned it when he was on. I got signed for the solo music I've been putting together last year. It was the timing was really cool because I got back from things had kind of been in the works for almost a year. And then I got back from Nepal, and I think the album got released like a couple days after I had returned. So I was like, oh, this is super cool
Timing.
Yeah, it's Shoulder Tone Records. They're based out of Italy and Switzerland, and it's a Handpan specific label. I discovered them kind of by accident. There were some Handpan artists that I was familiar with, and I started to see their posts come up in the relation to the Shoulder Tone Records, and I was like, what is this? So I looked into it, got in touch with the producer of Valerio Menon from Italy, and I had shared some music with him, but it was already released, and he was like, this is really cool stuff. It's a shame that you've already released it. And I said, well, I'm definitely going to be working on stuff. And he's like, well, when you get some stuff together, send it to me. And I think a year went by before that happened. And then I did, and that was it. He was really interested in it. And it took a while for me. I wasn't really, my knowledge for like recording and stuff was minimal. So I had to re-record a bunch of music and do it properly. I had some guidance from Jeremy Natal, who was also a handpan player, a really excellent musician who mixed the album for me. So he gave me some pointers, and as I re-recorded, the songs kind of shifted and changed because I had some stuff written, maybe 2 years ago. So that was a good experience. The songs just had more life after I re-recorded them, and then I got signed with those guys. So I'm super stoked about that.
It's so beautiful. So I know you're a multi-instrumental, so I think this is a good time to rewind because the handpan wasn't the first instrument that you've played, right? When you were growing up, you started really young. What was the first instrument that you fell in love with?
So 8 years old, I grew up in a big Italian community in Bridgeport, and the family next to me was filled with musicians, and the boys in the family played the accordion. So I would hear this sound when I was outside playing kickball or whatever, and I could hear them. They were like virtuosos. They nonstop playing, so it was like accordion like all day long.
Wow.
And I was like, what is that? What is that? So I discovered it, and I just thought it was like, I think I've had this love for obscure instruments, I guess, for a long time. And I was like, that's what I want to play. So
the accordion.
That's awesome, though.
8 years old, got my first accordion. My mom took me to music lessons every week, and I played up until I was close to 13. And then, I was discovering girls, and I was like, I don't know, is the accordion, is that the way to go?
Can I swoon a girl with an accordion?
I mean, I don't know. I would. If
Absolutely.
it was like romantic.
It worked.
A romantic song.
Wine, Italian dinner,
There you go, yeah.
This is a night. It's a beautiful night.
But it's an all-encompassing instrument. I mean, it's beautiful, really. It's got this really weepy, almost kind of sound to it. So I was amazed. And I think from the accordion, and I was really heavily involved. I was in an ensemble as a kid. I went to competitions and really, really into it. But, as it was hard lugging around, I always seemed to pick big instruments. I was lugging it around as a little kid. And
They do look kind of heavy.
Yeah, it is.
They are.
Definitely. The bigger sized ones are, I still have my original accordion. I was just looking at it.
That's awesome.
So it's like, my mom was like, couldn't you pick something like the flute or piccolo or something? So. But that got me introduced to the keys, so I started to play piano and keyboard, and I was like, oh, this is it has to stay put. I don't have to carry this thing around,
And it was an easy transition from like the accordion to the keyboard.
Yeah, so I was studying, but I didn't jump in and practice as much as I could have. I think it was just a matter of finding my true love. So it was like, funny enough, like playing the piano, a lot of people don't think of it as a percussion instrument, but you actually have there's mallets inside of the inside of the piano that are actually hitting the keys, which like the mechanics of things interested me. I said, oh, that's cool. But come 6th grade, I was like, I want to play the drums. So that was it. That was it. It went
from one extreme to the next. It was like if it wasn't the accordion, like your mom wanted you to play the flute or something. Now you got the whole drum set coming in.
Another big instrument. They were like, oh. So, and that was it. Band in grammar school, straight into high school, marching band, which is where I learned a lot of rudiments and chops. Really developed that, and then and all along the way, playing drum set, and like Jed mentioned, starting our first band when we were 7th grade, I think. So drums was it. That's the one that stuck for me.
And the first band, was that Earth Passenger? Or
no.
A different name?
You're talking the 80s. We had a little band, I think, for short-lived. It was our idea of being rock stars. It was Quarrel. And we were even writing stuff at that time. It was funny. They were so crude, these really simple songs, but it was super fun, and everyone was really creative. And then when we got into high school, it was this band Centaur that actually had. We were in it, man. Like, this was going to be the band to be, the rock stars. And for a bunch of 17-year-olds, everyone was really talented, and our writing skills were really on point. The guitarists were talented. Jed was doing his thing. I was writing lyrics and playing drums, and we had a couple singers, and we recorded. And we were like the high school like rock stars, and we're like, this is it. We're like going for it, man. Maybe we could tour, And then graduate, and you're like, oh, I have to pay bills and shit now. So, but we had a lot of fun. It was a really solid band. I still have recordings of that band somewhere. Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, I'm just clearing out my throat. Can you pass me the water, please?
So
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So Coral was the first band that you had with Jed. I know Jed was telling me about it. How about Centaur recorded? Yeah,
we recorded in Connecticut recording studios in downtown Bridgeport, and we were like, we're kids, so we're like trying to scrap up money, whatever we could do, borrow it. And it's amazing to think like this is probably late 80s, and what we recorded could probably be done now for like $150, and back then it was like we had to save. We were on like this 64 channel like recording board. It was all Ampex tape, reel to reel, and it was like $2,000. We're like, this is like life savings for all of us. But we scrambled, we got the money up, we made this EP, and then from there it was just having fun. It never went it didn't go any further than playing some house parties and just trying to live the dream and see if it would actually happen. A couple of Battle of the Bands, and then everyone was high school, college, and everyone kind of went their own way at that point. For me personally, like I was at that point, my music was actually starting to kind of take a back seat, because it was always music and art. So. And I was just trying to find what is it that I want to do, to make a living, and then not so much of the pressures, because my folks were actually crazy supportive of almost every endeavor I did, but also they were very traditional. So it was like, my dad worked in a factory, my mom was a secretary, so it was like, you got to get a job with a 401k, and I was like, what do I do? What do I do to make a living, but somehow find some enjoyment in it? So I actually became an architectural draftsman, and that was something I adapted to easily, because I was an artist as a kid. This was more like kind of confined and in a box, because it was so. I was redrawing stuff that architects would send to me, and there was no real creativity in it. I just had to put it for a short time it was actual pen on paper, and then it all turned into computers and
The CADs and whatnot.
Right,
Wow.
exactly. I was working when CAD just came out, so I had to learn it, and I quickly got like that feeling of I'm in an office and they're staring at a screen, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. So
Was it for homes or buildings or?
I was working for mostly commercial, so I was redrawn. I had this huge job that lasted a while, and then I actually got laid off. And in that time, I was able to kind of reassess everything. But I was redrawing like storage bins for Japan Airlines. That was some crazy project. But I worked for this small firm. It was like 3 people: the owner, the architect, someone that'd go into the field, and then their secretary, and then I would work on the blueprints. And if I finished up, frequently the owner would step out. He wouldn't be there. I'd be like, well, I did what I could today. So I started to secretly design tattoos on the computer.
Is that the
That's-
start of it? Is that?
Because I was
It
going to
was-
ask, where did the tattooing come in? I'm
Yeah.
like, I think that it's
So-
going to come in there somewhere. Because, I mean, we were bored, right? It sounded like you were like, this is not completely what I want to do.
Yeah, it was.
But it was a
And at
start.
that point, I didn't think of doing tattoos. I just wanted to get tattoos and it came out of nowhere. I didn't grow up with them. I didn't see them. There wasn't people heavily tattooed in the mid to late 80s. In my world anyway. But I think the only thing I could say is I think my brother came back from the service with one, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. So it was like, I want to get a tattoo, and I got a small skull and crossbones, and there was a guy in Bridgeport that was like the dude to go to. Like everybody went to see him. So I got a tattoo with a close friend of mine, my buddy Corey, and then I was like, whoa, this is like it was like the same way I feel about walking into maybe a venue to watch some music. That was the sensation I had when I walked into the tattoo shop. It was like the smell and the noise of the tattoo machine and like all the pictures on the walls. And I was like, whoa, this is wild, man. So I got one tattoo, I got another tattoo, I got a third tattoo.
How many
Snowballs.
tattoos
Yeah. And
all together? How many tattoos do you have?
it's the goal basically, and I don't know how I'll really accomplish it now because I'm getting older and they hurt, and I'm just like, eh. But it's they're all connected. It's like one big one basically. I couldn't tell you how many I
You
had.
just added on to it. It just
Wow.
kept going.
It's all connected,
Yeah.
back piece.
And
But,
do they have a story? Do you have like meaningful ones that are very like dear to you?
Absolutely. There were times where, and honestly, as crappy as some of my tattoos might be, like every single tattoo has a connection, and mostly for me, it's a time in my life. I could look at something and be like, oh wow, like even the imagery, if it's not even related to something specifically, I know what was kind of going on in that time period. So they're all good memories. Some of them I have a really special. I have portraits of my parents on my chest, which are, those are probably my favorites just because, hey, mom and dad,
Yeah.
it's like, I owe everything to them. So, yeah. So I got, the more tattoos I got, the more interested in the art of tattooing I became. So that was the spark that I was like, and I was an artist, but I didn't know anything about tattooing and what the world consisted of, and nothing. I knew nothing. So I started to chat with tattoo artists when I would go get tattooed, pick their brains a little bit. And then I eventually decided that I wanted to do a formal apprenticeship with an artist. And back in my day when I did the apprenticeship, it was pretty much like you were like a hang around. You hung out, you swept, you mopped, you cleaned their studio. When you went and you got them coffee, and you hung out and you drew all day long, and you just asked questions. And I had opportunities where I could allow that time, because at certain points I was either like getting laid off from a job and collecting unemployment, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang out at this tattoo shop.
Yeah.
So the balance was there. And then I did a formal apprenticeship and
So when you were learning how to draw on, like, did you learn how to draw on like pigskin, or was it like a like how does that process like become?
So we'd go to the morgue, and no, I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
There are stories like that. I've heard stories like that. I don't know how true it is.
That's
but,
crazy.
Yeah, right. I was actually practicing on grapefruits.
Grapefruits.
Yeah. So it's just the idea of holding a machine and drawing on something that's not a flat surface. So that's the idea of it. Is it the same? No, not really.
Because the skin is kind of malleable, like you can shift and pull and like. So how do you get that texture?
You know, now there's so much out there. They have this artificial skin that you can tattoo that's really come close to tattooing on real skin. If you're doing a solid apprenticeship and you're putting all these things that you're learning into practice, you're gonna do an okay first tattoo. You know, most of the people that I know that have taken the time and not rushed into jumping on skin, or if they have a mentor that knows better and they say, you know, you're gonna do this practice for 9 months on a grapefruit or whatever it be. When I look and see, like, feel that you're ready, we'll find someone that wants a free tattoo, and there's tons of people out there, let me tell you. So yeah, then I did my first tattoo, I think. What
was it of your first tattoo?
I think it was like a rose. It was like a little flash piece off the wall, which is where I pretty much honed all my skills, just tattooing all those pre-drawn designs, which is a huge part of tattoo history. I love it. Yeah, it was a rose, and I know I was panicked the very first one. I think I went into the bathroom at the shop and I was sweating, and I was like, oh please. No. Please let me do a good first tattoo. Please let me do a good first tattoo. So, and it was fine. And then it's just again, you know, you could relate it to almost like maybe playing your first gig. You get the jitters, and then you do another gig, and a couple go by, and then you're starting to walk out on stage with a little more confidence. So that was like my experience with tattooing as well.
Is there a tattoo that you will not tattoo on someone? Are you like, you know how like some people say, oh, is there a song that you do not cover or play ever? Yeah. Is there a tattoo that you're like, I'd rather not do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything offensive, obviously anything racist. Obviously I won't do that. And I've had people ask, and I've had people, you know, they bring it back to, hey, you know, I've got money. You're the tattooer, but I don't want my name associated with anything like that. So
integrity.
Once you tattoo someone, that's my name out there in the world. You know, who did this tattoo for you? Right. And plus, you know, I feel very strongly against that stuff, so I would never consider it. You know, you as a tattoo artist, it's like you have a responsibility to guide people. You know, it's not just saying, yeah, sit down, give me your $200. That's cool, man. You know, you have a responsibility to help people make wise decisions, because tattoos will change your life if you think it or not. If I have someone come in and ask me for a face tattoo, you know, I really got to take some time and talk to them about this, because
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you know what the implications are, right?
So, and that weighs heavy on you as an artist. Like, I don't want to do that to someone. Because I know people that have, you know, heavy regrets. So that's just too much to weigh on my head.
Yeah, it's like, have you thought this through?
Yeah.
Do you prefer to do black and white or color tattoos?
I'm definitely a black and gray realism. I do actually do a lot of portraits. I do a lot of animals realism. It's funny because I've been tattooing for so long. I just started to open my mind again to some traditional kind of tattoos with color. But I stopped a long time ago, just because I excelled in the style of tattooing, and now my shop has my crew. I have color artists that are they're amazing. So it's like, I want someone to get the best tattoo they can get, and I'm going to say, you know, don't ask the black and gray realism guy. Let me have my buddy over here do it, because you're gonna get a kick-ass tattoo, you know.
Yeah.
So we dove into your trip to Nepal, right? And your tattooing experience. You have a lot of edge to you, right?
Spiritual badass, like I said.
How does this transition into you learning how to play the handpan and bringing that into your world?
So I think, like I said, starting on the accordion, which is, I believe, still obviously it's not something you see a lot of. So it was that obscurity, and really just as I started to collect other percussion instruments. So I got my drum set, and then I got some djembes, and I wanted to explore more percussive stuff and bongos and congas. So just really like searching for that stuff online, where to buy stuff. I would search for like used stuff, and in searching that, I was looking up tablas, and I think the handpan really just appeared in the internet, and I was like, what the heck is that? It was within all this other searches I was doing, and it popped up, and I just was like, I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know what it was. So from there I just started to research and found out that there was this. Now this has got to be, I would say, like for me, maybe 2017, 2018, and there was this really interesting backstory to it. At one point, you really couldn't get one in the United States. If you could get one, you had to talk to a builder, and it would take it could take up to a year to get one. You got to get your name on a list. They were actually pretty expensive. I mean, they're not cheap instruments, and especially for a younger person trying to save money, they're definitely not cheap instruments. So it was really just seeing them online, and then starting to listen to them, and the sound just grabbed me. It was a connection that I was like, whoa, this is like, there's something happening deeper with this instrument that I need to know about. So what happened was I actually started to continue to discover similar instruments. So you have tongue drums, which are pretty much shaped like a handpan, and instead of the malleted areas, which on a handpan they're actually created by hand by hammering, almost like a steel drum. They hammer out these sections of notes, but the tongue drum has an actual cut in it, which is where they get the name tongue from. It's like a U-shaped thing. So they're sometimes a little bit different material, a slightly different sound, and then they're pretty sturdy drums, so they were also more affordable. So I actually ended up treating myself to one, and that's how I kind of got into that form of playing. And it was still, they're really beautiful instruments, but there was still like the call to the handpan was there. So
the tongue drum, is that you play with a mallet or with your hands?
You can do both, which you wouldn't with a handpan, but you can actually because they're typically, from what I understand, they're a little bit thicker steel, so they're a little more hardy, less likely to be damaged by mallets. So you can play with mallets if you'd like, and you get a little bit of a different sound, just like a drum set if you were switching sticks and mallets and stuff. We have a small one, and then
it comes with little magnets inside there.
Oh,
and I wasn't sure like the purpose of it, and I realized, I don't know if it's like it messes with the tone when
tunage.
It's probably, typically that's for tuning and stuff. That's a little less common in some tongue drums, but typically it's like the tuning, maybe the resonation too if you move them around, but that's pretty cool. So I kept exploring and researching until I was able to save some cash, and then take the dive, and along the way just reaching out and chatting with people and trying to learn what I could about getting a quality instrument, just like any instrument. How is it going to serve me in the long term? What should I look for that's going to feel good to play? So I found a place out in Wisconsin, I believe. There's just a builder that I happened to connect with, and I got my first one built for me, and that was it. Now I'm sitting in a room with like 10 or 12 of them.
So, what? Jimmy!
Wow.
Yeah, I could give you a little thing if I don't mess this up here.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that. You got a whole collection.
I'm in heaven right now.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's
Looking at
awesome.
all of them,
A bunch of
your
UFOs.
yeah. So there's
Wow,
some
look at those up there.
Oh, so cool.
tongue drum. So those are tongue drums. There's to the handpans there. More handpans. Yeah, it's
Wow.
insane down
Because
here.
he does sound healing, sound baths.
Yeah, that's a whole
The whole experience. So like Lute is trying to like explain to you, because that's why I call you a spiritual badass, because it's really cool to see and meet other people. So in 2012 I became a yoga instructor and a meditation teacher also. So I became really obsessed with sound baths and sound healing. And yeah, I got a little tiny one. It's a Luna Bow. And I, in 2012 it was like really hard to get them also, and you can imagine. And I remember just getting it was like a $500 little piece, but back then now you can get it, it's more affordable. But I was like, I saw those huge ones that you had to be on a list and they had to contact you, and it was somewhere in either like Switzerland or somewhere really far away, and then you would have to wait for them to make one for you.
Absolutely.
And so seeing that whole and then of course like saving and doing all the stuff and being a teacher, you don't make as much to get one of those huge $6,000 $10,000 ones, but I am obsessed with the whole handpan and the way you manage to make music and with the groove and the combination of the psychedelic with the rock music. I love all of that, and it's something that I've always been passionate about, because I can't find a lot of people that are into like rock and meditation at the same time. So when I met Jed and I saw that he was like, oh, I'm in this band, and then I went and I saw Jimmy, I looked at Luna and I was like, oh my God, I found someone that I've been looking for like years. And I was just like enamored by the whole like vibe of what you guys have going on. And I was like, see, I knew Jed was special because, and then he said you were his best friend. And I was like, I want to get to know him, because it's like exactly like the vision of what I would think it would be to have like a handpan artist and then meditation music. And then I kept finding out more about you. Awesome. I'm like, Jed, we got to find a time to like get him on, because it sounded so interesting.
That's so cool.
Jim's sound bath are amazing. I can imagine. Mermaid Mom says.
Oh, that's Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for being here. So how you incorporated the rock music, because you have like a lot of different styles in the music that you like and create, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you marry that and say, okay, I want to try this experimental sound? Yeah,
so like I said, when I was first attracted to the handpan and what I was seeing basically online, it was the instrument was really, it was always in these settings that were pretty like spiritual, for a lack of a better word, and meditative, and just soothing. I would find stations online to listen to, and a lot of it was the same kind of feel, which really that drew me in. I was really attracted to that sound. And so when I started to record stuff and do little snippets during the pandemic, everyone was home, everyone was like bugging out, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna get to learn this instrument. And I put little snippets up, and people were like, dude, that like it put me to sleep at night. I felt so relaxed. Do you have anything longer? And I was like, oh, I could play longer. And I go outside, 30 degrees outside by my fire, I'm playing handpan, and then just people were like, they kept saying the same thing. Do you have anything longer? And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, cool. And then someone said, why not, you should record an album. And I was like, well, I have the time. I don't have anything going on. And that's what happened. The first thing I put together was a full length of the tongue drum, and still very repetitive things and kind of like meditative beats and stuff. And from there, it just expanded, where when I was getting deeper into the handpan, and I would sit with it and play, and because I'm am multi-instrumental, and it's like I'm always thinking of other things that I play that I want to play, and I'd be playing the handpan and think like, oh, if there was a beat behind this would be so cool. So to me, the handpan gave me this expressive voice. If there's one thing I wished I could do, it would be sing, which I have a decent ear, and I know
Hi.
notes and so I was like, wow, I would hear lyrics and I would hear things in my head and stories, and so the handpan gave me the voice to be in a full band, and that was really that's how Earth Passenger kind of came about. So I said, instrumental bands are like they're hit or miss sometimes. People are either into them or not.
Yeah.
Because I was into the sound immersion and just atmospheric stuff and like creating a mood, I was like, I think that this can work in a lot of different settings, even if it is a little bit more upbeat and grooving. So I was recording, I was doing like second or third album, and I was recording a song, and I was like, this is cool, but there's something, I would like to hear something in here, and it was bass. And I reached out to Jed and I said, hey man, like, take a listen to this. If you could throw a bass line on this, that'd be cool. So he did, and then I ended up recording 2 or 3 more things with him. And then we said, I think we could make a thing out of this, and then like Jed had mentioned, we did a live gig, and my buddy Chuck sat in, and then it was really like, do you guys want to like try to make something of this? And that was it. And Earth Passenger was born. So it's really collective. We have 3-piece band that these guys are crazy talented, and everyone gets to shine in their own, and we feed off of each other. And it's like this thing that's just like naturally like happening. We kind of take a little break back, I'll just chill out and play some percussion. Jed gets down, and then we do the same with Chuck, and then the handpan comes. But through and through, the handpan has become like the lead vocalist in the band. So it's kind of cool. And again, an obscure kind of band. We show up a lot of times, and people are like, "What the hell is that thing?" So
yeah.
So it works, and we're still discovering stuff and getting deeper into it.
Pretty awesome. I love the progression of how it ended up becoming, in full with the band. So we're about an hour into our show. At this point, we would love to have you guys just support us in some way. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like on the video if you made it this far and you enjoying what you're hearing, and you want to, help push this video out to more people, and want more people to know who Jim is and what he does and his band and his adventures. Definitely give us that support. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channels, and also become a member. We have our membership program open now. If you do command members in our Twitch, or go on YenYorkCity.com. Check out the member page. You get some exclusive insights, access, and discounts to some of our merch and events to come. So if you want to be a part of this journey and support what we're doing, that's another way of doing so monetarily. But yeah, for free, give us a follow on all of our socials.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say I love what you guys are doing all in all, like musically, and I think the podcast is great. Like when Jed mentioned he was going to go jam with you guys, the name was actually familiar, but I wasn't familiar with the music, and it caught me right. I was like, Sky Museum, anything that's like ethereal. I was like, whoa, what's? And then he showed me some of the videos, and he's like, I'm gonna wear like a mask on stage, and again, obscurity. And I was like, what? I was like, this is me, because I've done the same thing in Earth Passenger. I've come out in a full like astronaut suit and stuff.
Oh,
and
man.
So I was like, I started to dig into some of the music, and I love like a lot of the live clips, and I've been trying to dig a little deeper into some of the music. So I just want to tell you that I really love everything that you guys are doing with the music and the scene and the podcast and all that. So
thank you, Jim. That means a lot.
The love is mutual, because I've been saying how like I want to go and see you guys live.
Yeah.
Do you have any shows coming up soon that we could promote and talk about?
Yeah, so I think, Jed and I have been doing a lot of smaller venue stuff together. With, life, it's tricky. Well, the Earth Passenger as a whole, 3 pieces, it's been a little tricky to get gigs together. Chuck does a lot of traveling for work, so we've got to find this balance. And then, of course, everyone has other projects too. So we have, I think Jed and I are playing in West Hartford. I forget the date. I always put that stuff on my socials. And but the Earth Passenger as a whole group, a big thing for me is going to be in August. So I started and organized a handpan venue, a handpan showcase in Milford, Connecticut. So 3 years ago, I started to bring handpan players from really all over the world into this venue, and it's called Spirit Voices. So this will be the 3rd one I'm doing in late August.
Oh, beautiful.
I have some fellow handpan players coming in from all over, and then Earth Passenger is actually going to close that show. It's a way to, one thing I've wanted to do with the handpan is, like we talked about, you're starting to hear like what we're doing. It's a rock or groove kind of based thing. So it's not just this meditative instrument, and how does it fit into rock or groove or funk or psychedelic stuff. So these shows that I've organized, it gives me opportunity. It takes you through this journey of, like, I'll have a solo player come out and they do really meditative stuff, and then it builds a little bit. So this year will actually end with Earth Passenger, which is like full on jam. So that's in August, and that's something that I'm really, really looking forward to.
And that's in Connecticut or in different locations?
It's in Connecticut. Nice thing is the venue is an old train station stop, and there's still a train that stops there. So I have people that come in that actually play. They'll take the train in, which is convenient. So it's a great little town. It's artsy, a lot of cool places to eat and stuff. So definitely, like I said, I always post a bunch of promo stuff when we get close.
Jed says EP Lights at Calicolo?
Oh, Claycola.
Claycola.
Middletown.
Yeah.
In Middletown this Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah, that's our coffee shop gig, which I love. It's a super small coffee shop, real cool people. And we're gonna, like, I told Jed we got to keep an eye on the weather and see what happens. But that's a blast too, and it's so relaxed that we just have a good time. We just jam, drink some coffee, get all weird. I always tell people, I'm gonna come out and get weird with me. So.
I love it.
Which I know Jed can appreciate that. He said, "Oh yeah."
Speaking of getting weird, we had a segment that we wanted to work on, and it's gonna be awesome.
It's a very surprise moment for you.
Yeah, because I'm glad I have Jed here too, because he's participated in this, and it's a segment that we like to call. What would Jimmy do? What would Jimmy do?
Jimmy!
What would Jimmy do?
What would Jimmy do?
That's amazing.
And Jed got the question.
Yeah,
Chat.
having a conversation from Jed last time we had him on, he said, his wife would always tell him, what would Jimmy do for certain situations, right?
Oh, man.
So I had something special created for you for this moment, and this is the special thing.
Wow.
Thank you, Jed.
Hey, Jim.
Whoa!
Oh.
It disappeared.
Come back.
Come back.
Hey, Lucid.
Come back.
Hold on, I gotta fix it.
You can't do it.
It's brand spanking new, so I'm still developing it. All right.
You can't do it.
Hey, Jim, it's me, Jed Klobowski. You might remember me from such things as riding on the school bus to High Horizons back in 8th grade, or maybe in the band Earth Passenger that I'm currently playing into. My question for you, for what would Jimmy do? If you were offered a contract to perform as much handpan music as you want, but you would have to move away for a year, would you want to, and could you do it? What would Jimmy do? All right, love you, brother. See ya.
What would Jimmy do? What would you do?
Jimmy do?
Wow, that's a great question. If I was offered money to move away for a year and perform as much handpan music as I could. So that's great. That's a really great question. Everything I do I would say everything I do, every maneuver that I do with music, life, everything, it all comes down to if I have the support of my wife, and how is it going to affect my daughter. So I think that I'm so fortunate. Like every adventure I've taken, Tracy, that's my life partner, every adventure I've taken she's stood behind me. The craziest things that I've wanted to do, she's never reeled me in and said, I don't think you should do that. Nepal was a huge thing. There was a lot of unrest going on. There was protests going on 2 weeks before I was supposed to fly out.
Wow. And
she said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just, I could be worried about this, but I know what this means to you. Every instrument that shows up at the house that, maybe should have been towards a bill that we need to pay, she's always been like, okay, well, whatever. So she's super supportive, and I know, I really feel that if the opportunity was legitimate, if it was real, that I was going to go to another part of the world, say for a year, if it could be worked out, like she would probably, she's a researcher. She'd probably have a plan for her and my daughter to come and live somewhere for a year, so that I would be able to do that. I really think if it was an amazing opportunity, I know that she would back it. So I would probably say yes. I would go away and play handpan music all the time.
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer.
I feel very fortunate that way.
It's amazing. Yes, having a supportive partner. I mean, I know that that's one of the most important parts of being a musician, an artist. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful, because if you have a good supportive family, it makes all the difference being a musician.
Yeah.
And decisions.
We have a lot to juggle. She's super creative. We run the tattoo shop together. She's a voiceover actor. I have all this music side projects going on, and then we have a business to run and a daughter to take care of, and we're managing to balance this stuff. So it's not easy, but somehow we've managed to get this far. My daughter's 11 years old, so we're doing okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
I also read that you and your daughter during the pandemic wrote a book together.
Yeah, we wrote a children's book.
Oh, tell us about that. It's beautiful.
So I'm a huge fan of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1950s, like Universal Monster. I don't know why, it's always been my favorite. So I would tell my daughter stories about him, which is kind of funny because you think of horror stuff, but all these stories I had for her when she was little were just these lighthearted stories of, she used to call him Fishman, and I said, oh yeah, I met Fishman once. You met Fishman once? I said, yeah, he was in my pool. And so she would ask me, Dad, tell me the story about how you met Fishman. When she was little or going to sleep, I would tell her, make up stories, whatever would come to my head. So I'm tired, Dad, burnt out. I got every story. I can't think of anything. I go to put her to bed one night, and I said, Andy, I don't know. I said, let's play a game. I'm going to say one line, then you say a line, then I'll say a line. We'll go back and forth because I need help. So I was like, I'm a sea monster and I live all alone. And she said a line. And then I said, oh, that's funny. And then, so we were going back and forth, and I was like, wow, this is a really great concept for a kid's book. And I had wanted to do it for a while. And so next morning I started to write down some of the things I could remember that we both said. And then I stopped putting it off, and I sat down and wrote the story, and then I did all the artwork. And it's a self-published book, but it's actually done pretty well. It's been a couple years now, and I keep reordering so I could stock it. And it's a good message. It's about getting getting outside to play and getting away from our technology, just and balancing that, not like totally shutting off, but finding a good balance and just appreciating the outdoors. That's all.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
And what's the name of the book?
I Am a Sea Monster.
I Am a Sea Monster. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a 12-year-old, so I can tell you I love children. And my oldest is huge on the bike life community. Like, he loves riding the bicycle and going and traveling the world. And he does YouTube. And he started like really young with playing games and things like that on YouTube. But then I remember telling him, I'm like, why don't kids go outside anymore and ride a bike? You know, he's like, oh, Mom, what do you mean? People don't really ride. And then he ended up getting a bike around like 14 years old. And then he started doing content with bikes. And then he ended up getting his own bike from a London company that created this bike for him to sell.
Wow.
And he became this big life bike kind of guy on YouTube. And yeah, that's the whole thing, is promoting kids to get off of, you know, technology, get off of, you know, just playing video games and going outside and being more healthy. And last year he went to Tokyo, he went to Paris, he went to Portugal, Spain.
That's so awesome.
He gave a fan his own signature bike in Portugal. So I love the whole bike community, and now he's getting into bigger bikes. So I know, like, if you guys was to talk, and I know Jed met him.
That's so
he's
cool.
He's a great kid. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like, you know, when we have the tools that we have as far as the internet and stuff, and you have these really good intentions, it's fine. You know, like, I don't want to be like a shut down the internet, you know, but it's like, if you have good intentions with it, I think, which is what it was meant for in the beginning of things, it's fine. And to be able to reach people with a message, like, we have this opportunity to reach thousands upon thousands of people like we never had before. So if you have, that's all like positive stuff that he's doing. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, stay active and travel. I mean,
Yeah.
and a lot of people say, oh, well, don't you get concerned that, you know, he's traveling so much and he's riding the bike? And I'm like, no, he's living his dream. I wish at that age, you know, being 19 and traveling the world, that's what I would want to do. And
oh, heck yeah.
And I know my parents would have been like, yeah, you know, like, you should do it now that you're young and do all the things, because, you know, we get older, and that's why I get emotional when I see stories like that. And I love looking at people traveling and seeing different parts of the world, because that, to me, that's living. And music and travel, that's what I love.
It's huge. That's so huge. Like, and to go and experience it for yourself, it's so necessary, because we have people telling us what it's like to visit another part of the world, and what to be careful of and what to look out for. And then when you go and experience it yourself and have this crazy experience that didn't meet anything that people said, you're like, it's like, no, this isn't like what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing that's being fed to me isn't the real experiences. I had a lot of nerves going to Nepal. I was scared. I was nervous about a lot of things. I landed in a Middle Eastern country when my halfway point, or a little more than halfway point. So you have all these stories going in my head, and every experience I had, it was some of the smoothest traveling I ever had. The people were amazing. Just nothing that I would have had in my head about being cautious to travel. You know, it's so to go experience it yourself is the real deal. You know.
Is there any place that you haven't traveled yet that is like your dream to travel at the moment?
There's a lot of places I would love to see.
Top five.
Oh boy. I would say Iceland, Switzerland. I've been to Paris, but I'd love to do more areas of France. I really like to see Ireland. And if I had to pick another one, I would say probably Italy.
Great list.
Yeah.
Beautiful list.
Jimmy,
Yes.
I like that gong behind you, man.
Ooh, the gong.
Can you give us a whack with that? Like, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know how it'll sound. It might sound okay through the sound on the Zoom or YouTube, right?
Oh. That sounds so cool. What gong is that?
So this is actually from Italy. It's a small village out there, and offhand I can't remember the name of the town. It's a very secluded place, but it's a Grata Sonora. So that's the maker, the builder, Grata Sonora, and this was one of those things that I wanted for a long time and showed up on the doorstep, and Tracy was like, what the heck is that? Giant box. And I was like, it's my new gong. So I use it, typically in sound bath stuff. There's a way to actually play it where it's this like long reverberating thing. And like you wouldn't necessarily whack this kind of gong, but it's crazy. Like a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people connect with it. Some people have a hard time with it because it's so like gets you right in the chest. So it's like, but
it's got a really nice low tone to it.
Yeah,
compared to most gongs like you see from like Zildjian or like Sabian, like they have a more of like a trashier type of like splash. Like
there's some up. I got a bunch actually. There's some up here too. So
those are look at that. That's is that a shell print?
Yeah, so those are higher pitched, and
Jimmy got like my dream studio over there. All the percussions. Are you into sitar too? Do you have one?
I don't have a sitar, but I just got a monochord, which is a droney instrument. It's basically 2 or 3 notes that just resonate and make a chord, and you kind of just, you're not really plucking it like song, but you're just a drone sound basically, so it stays steady. I just got it. I haven't even experimented with some of the sound immersion that I do, but I'm gonna bring it in soon to one of the classes actually.
Jed says, I don't have a sitar yet.
I would have a ball there. I would have such a good time there. You have like all the toys.
I spend a lot of time down here in the basement with all this stuff, and it's like a peace of mind for me, and it definitely keeps me sane.
Yeah, because percussion is really big for me, and like just having all those toys there, I can just imagine you're there for hours just experimenting and creating your sound. How did you create your sound? Did you know you wanted it to be a 3-piece, or do you still feel like you can add more to it?
I've talked to Jed about this too. Sometimes we talk about adding a drummer, because what we're doing, like the beats behind Earth Passenger, they're either electronics or acoustic percussion that I've recorded into my looper. So it's actually me playing, but I don't know, there's some magic with the 3-piece, and I love electronic music. So I think it was like that combination I had in mind that would define Earth Passenger. It's this, because the driving electronic beats and then real atmospheric stuff and the grooves, it's just like I want it to be it has to be a long enough song that people can have time to get drawn in and connected to, and then go on some kind of a trip. That's how I feel about it. Again, just like going against the idea of a cover band and writing a song that's within a person's attention span, which I understand, and I think there's a place for that, of course, but just play. I just want to play, and if people connect to it, I think that's a great thing. If they're not connecting to it, we have the guys are really good at feeling the crowd, and if we're jamming and we're having a good time, then it's like, let's just keep rolling. But if we're looking at each other and we're like, I think we've explored this tune enough, and maybe we're losing some people, so let's shift a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of feel, I really love Feel It. Is that the one that I was saying that I really like?
Yeah.
Feel This.
Feel This.
Yeah, Feel This.
Yeah.
That one, I was like, what's the name of this one? And I was like, I got to remember this, because I was like playing it in the background a lot, and I kept thinking this is like because it's like a longer song, but it doesn't feel that way because you're just immersed into it, and it just becomes like
it's
beautiful. I love that one.
That's a cool tune. It's a really like, it builds up to these cool jams, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because when we released the CD, that song, the title of that song is an edited title, so it was actually this. And
Oh.
but I had when I put the we call it F this because I think what it started was I was playing in the key F minor key with one of the handpans, and then it developed into this groove, and the things were happening in the world, and I was like, F this, and so I put the song out, and my distributor wouldn't even let me use F this. They said it was too harsh, so I had to rename it to Feel This. So it's kind of funny.
Oh,
I mean,
well, that one definitely.
The handpan
resonated.
world's got to be a little bit more zen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you conduct these sound healing sound baths that you have?
I got involved in a couple of yoga studios, so it's locally, and I'll do some traveling. But I've done I have some regular spaces in Milford, a yoga studio in Milford, New Haven area. I'm doing some new ones in Madison, up the shoreline in Connecticut, and it's just by a lot of people will come to my sound baths and that happen to own other studios. Maybe they want to experience something, and then in the session, at the end of the session, they'll approach me and say, hey, I own a studio in such town, would you do a sound immersion here? So it's been steadily building for at least 2 or 3 years now for me, and it's a really different experience. I do use electronics, and it's just a journey of sound, like the sound bath traditional sense with bowls and stuff, which is beautiful in itself. I don't lean too heavy on that. So I have my handpans, I have some electronics playing, I have some real I got nature sounds programmed into my looper, and all sorts of weird stuff, again, just to take you to another place with sound, and it's been a really good thing. It's been a positive thing. Like I've been fortunate to have like sold out sound baths because they are different, which is really nice, and I don't get too far out with real heady stuff, and I try to keep it real and connect with people, and just understand that music in this hour, it's like, let's just give ourselves a chance to quiet the noise in our head and listen to what's really going on with our body and our hearts and our mind, and I think it's really helpful. It's been a huge tool for me, even being the practitioner at the front of the class and doing what I'm doing. It's actually helped my anxiety and my stress level and stuff. So that's why I really love it.
I can relate to that completely. After that pandemic, when everything closed down and, a lot of the studios closed down, that was kind of the way it emerged into doing the sound healing online. And a lot of people started doing, the podcast started around that time.
Yeah.
I still felt like I needed to connect and do like meditation streams. I tried to get Luna to do meditation streams with he did a little bit of keyboard and a little percussion, but he was like, this is too mellow. I was like, no, but it's like, you'll get into it. And then I was like telling him, I'm like, there's,
You know what it is? I think it's because I do get into it, and then I'm like getting too engulfed into it. And I'm like
sleepy.
Yeah, because it's so relaxing,
Yeah.
And like she's doing all the singing bowls, because she has like almost the full collection of the singing bowls with the wind chimes and all that stuff. And then I'm like playing with the keyboard and playing with like soft pads and some chime sounds, and that's all I'm doing. And then I'm listening to it, and I'm like, oh man, this sounds good, but I'm like so tired now.
But my motto was like, you gotta, it's okay to metal out, but then remember to meditate, like meditation, So I wanted to combine that.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I always wanted to combine the two, and there was a few projects we had with a few fellow musicians on Twitch that the three of us would get together. One was a handpan guy, and he was doing the handpan, and then I was doing the ethereal singing, and then I had a guitarist, nice. And we did it, and he was kind of like, he felt a little left out. I'm like, no, I mean, percussion is something that you have to like kind of, it's a delicate dance when it comes to meditation music, right? And him being a progressive like drummer, we've had to like kind of learn.
Well, I can enjoy
a little
like
back.
that kind of stuff because like like Pink Floyd or like
Right.
I'm a big Dream Theater fan, and there's some elements in Dream Theater that has like that very spacious type
Oh,
of
heck yeah.
I
elements.
love it.
But then like at some point it just comes in and punch you in the gut with some distortions, So,
Yeah.
And then
But- I mean,
Mind's Eye came about,
yeah.
which is like
Oh,
very
yeah.
slow, and then it
Our
becomes...
song A Mind's Eye has that intro is very like ethereal, right? With like some bell sounds and then like her voice and then the pads and then eventually it just kicks in with
Let's
some
get into
progressive
the
music.
metal now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think there's opportunities for meditation in anything that we do. People will just kind of put it in a little box and be like, you have to be in the lotus position and be like,
Yeah.
om.
Yeah.
But it happens, meditation, mindfulness especially, it's like whatever it is we're doing. I think that's why I love being in a band, and it's like this awareness of your space and each other, no matter what it is you're playing. I mean, I still play in a punk band, so it's in the same sense I could have that experience when I'm when I'm sweating and I'm in this like 2/4 beat.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We gotta
And
talk
it's
about sexy, right?
King Sexy.
King Sexy, yeah.
Sexy. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
So
Wait, do I have the
pull
video
it up.
here?
Let's pull it up.
Oh my God, hold on.
Holly, our doggie's like right here wanting to join us. Yeah.
Hold
So
on.
I think she got a little. My mic is okay. Untangled. Okay. So tell us about that, because we did a deep dive. Like I said, when I go into it, I'm like, all right, let's see what he's about. And we did see that you are in a punk band, and it was so fun to see that
Oh yeah.
you're just having fun. So you're the drummer.
Yeah.
So this is why I was like, okay, Jimmy's just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all awesome. I love it. So we're gonna pull up. Let us know how this started, because you do have like different avenues of music. So this is your punk rock band, right?
Yeah.
And Luna's looking for the clip that we had. We had a clip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the band's been around for a while, and I've been part of it for over 10 years now. But the band's been around for like 20 years, so it's pretty wild.
How did you meet the guys?
Shoot, man. One of the guitarists, Frank, my buddy, he's been in it since its start, and I had jammed with him over the years, and then when King Sexy they needed a drummer, and they were having their actually 10-year anniversary, and they asked if I could play it because the drummer couldn't do it, and then they decided to keep the project going, and I stayed in the band, and that was it. So
what's the difference between being in Big Sexy and Earth Passenger? What's the biggest difference that you could feel?
It's the music itself. King Sexy is really just raw punk, with quicker tempos. It's a lot. It's got some old school punk feel to it. It's more structured with shorter songs, which you might expect from a punk band, and then you have Earth Passenger which is these long jams, and there's a lot of on the spot kind of playing music, and whatever kind of happens within the time that we allow ourselves to play a song.
All right, so we want to show a clip here. I think Luna.
No, I gotta find it. I'm sorry. I know you sent it to me, and I'm not prepared for this.
Oh, no worries.
So, being a drummer, what is your kit? What does it look like? What are your favorite? Let's talk about gear for a drummer, right? Because I love interviewing drummers, and we had so many of them on the show. So I love talking about cymbals, what kind of drum set you have, and everything in between.
Yeah, I pretty much I've gone through a bunch of different brands. I didn't really get stuck on anything. I started playing Pearls. I had a Yamaha for a while, and I think I now have a Gresh, which for some reason I just always wanted a Gresh. I was just drawn to it for its old school feel or something. I don't know. And then actually, when my daughter was born, I bought my first electronic kit, which was a Roland, which I have since sold. And then I bought an Alessi's because the technology seems to have advanced. So I have this little Alessi's drum set that I can play any time of day, which is great. Just throw headphones on. That was the purpose. Zildjian cymbals. I'm a Zildjian guy. I love all Zildjian cymbals. So.
I love the Zildjians too. Well, let's see. Luna's still looking for the clip.
The website is not loading. I don't know why. It's giving me issues now for some reason.
So Jed, let us know if you have any questions in the chat. I can ask Jimmy any questions if you guys. Thank you so much for staying with us while we have Jimmy on.
Jed, the man. Jed's the best.
Yeah, he is. He really is. So Tuesday, hopefully, if it doesn't snow, it doesn't look like it's really coming down right now where we are. It just looks rainy, really. It's not that cold. I feel like it's just going to come down and it's going to melt, I think, hopefully.
That the pooch? Hey, pooch.
Yeah. They're very active now for some reason. Okay, I think I have it here. Yeah, it's got to download it now.
Did you see the date for Glasgow Park gig?
Jed asked, did you see the date for the Glasgow Park gig?
The date? Did I see the date? I don't know.
Okay. It's...
Well, we could go to the Nepal clip too.
Yeah, this is it right here. Okay, I got it. Let me open this up here, and then I gotta capture it over here, and then
technology.
Yeah. Pause. Well, this is you playing, actually.
Well, we can show that one too.
Yeah.
We wanted to show that one.
Did you send me a link to it? Was it? Yeah, this is the link right here.
Think so. I think it was like a last minute thing too. I forgot.
March 6th is the Glasgow Park.
Ah, this is your Centaur band.
Oh, God.
Wow, we're going deep. We're going back. All right, we're going deep.
Hold on, let me.
That's the beginning.
Yeah, I'm prepping these up right now so that we can just like show everything while I have it.
Oh man. The history.
Yeah, the history. Question for you: if you was to give an advice to someone to purchase their first handpan, which handpan would you suggest?
Ooh, that's a tricky question, and it's a lot of people will advise against anything that's like Amazon based or Temu or anything like that. It's so hard because handpans are not inexpensive instruments, and depending on the person's level of playing or how long, or if they think it's something they're really going to stick with, you might want to just jump to some higher quality build. If they're from the States, there's a handful of builders that just awesome builders. That's a tough one. If like a price range, if you're going under, unfortunately, if you're going under like $1,000, it's actually a risky thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because you can spend easily $2,000 to $3,000 on a really high quality thing. And then if you buy from a builder, a specific builder, they're going to stand behind the instrument if you ever need to get it retuned or something. Where if you get a more of a mass-produced instrument, a lot of builders won't tune it, and it's really difficult to find someone to retune a handpan. So I would say anything under $1,000, I would question. But small based companies, builders in the United States, you can't really go wrong because there's some really quality handpans out there. I love Isthmus is one. I think, like I said, Spirit Handpans is another one in Asheville, North Carolina.
I gotta definitely get those kind of references and referrals, because I definitely want to see which is the best one to purchase.
Yeah.
And I know, there's like a price range that is a nice, to look for a good handpan. You have to really ask around, and you seem like the expert. You have all the handpans there.
I got a bunch.
Oh, I can't. Okay, we got the clip here for Kin section.
Jed says Friday, March 6th, Glasgow Park in West Hartford.
All right, I'll put it in my calendar.
And then King Sexy.
Oh,
He finally found the clip. Okay. Yay!
All right, here we go. This is King Sex. We're gonna show a little bit of this, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
yeah.
This is copyright free, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, handsome. What are you doing? I'm good. Waking up, you. Where do you live? Northeast, you. Midwest. Can I have your picture? Sure. What do you do? I work a lot. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. Do
Happy
you want to
birthday.
come visit me? Sure. When?
That's my buddy Frank up front, walking up front.
But
But Web of Freaks, that's the song.
Web of Freaks.
This is Jeff. This is my buddy Jeff.
Jeff.
Coleman. He's the brainchild. This is his brainchild. King Sexy.
blocked.
Block. Get.
Hot girl has been blocked.
This is great.
It's fun. Super fun.
But
Yes. Oh, freaks.
Oh, freaks.
yeah, I was showing him, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "This is so cool." I was like, "We got."
And the cowbell.
Yeah. More cowbell.
More cowbell.
So
This is funny.
Yeah, like these songs are great. Jeff has written all the songs, and he's always writing about like personal experiences. So I think this was like a scam. Someone trying to scam him online to get some money. But they're really like super fun songs. Like I said, real raw, honest rock and roll punk. So it's a blast. So I've been in that band for quite a long time. We try to gig at least 3 or 4 times a year. So.
It's so fun. I love.
And it's like I can have one night I could be doing a King Sexy show, and then the next morning I'm at a sound bath. So it's this.
See what I'm saying?
The opposite
A balance,
spectrums, yeah.
A balance. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I can relate.
And it's a balance, and it's like I've learned to just try not to really just define myself, because there's so much to experience with people, friends, relationships. It's like we don't need to say, well, I'm Jim the tattooed biker. You just enjoy everything, and it opens up all these doors for you, which has been happening for me for years now. And it's just it's a beautiful place to be. So I like punk music, I like metal, I like sitting in a yoga room, and it's all just
too.
It's just happening in the moment. Whatever that day has in store for me, I sit with it and enjoy it.
So refreshing to find other like-minded people.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Next video.
All right, you ready for the next one, guys? This is a Centaur.
Oh my
Bridgeport,
goodness.
Connecticut.
Centaur,
We're
bringing
going-
it back.
we're going back, baby. 1985 to 1989.
That's it. So Jed's on the right with the jacket, holding the jacket up. I know
That's
it's a
Jed.
little-
What?
Yeah. That's Jed.
That's
Centaur.
Jed? Oh,
Yeah, look at little-
Jed.
Look at Jed.
Little
baby Jed. Little baby Jed.
cute.
Jed.
That's Jed on the left, me in the middle, and my buddy
Oh
Mike.
my God, that's Jed on the left. Oh my God, so cute.
So this is like when we were about 17, 18, when maybe if that, when we wrote this
Oh,
song.
high school.
There's me with the hair.
What?
And this is amazing. Like I put this video together, and
Whoa.
that's Jed right there with the
With the
That's
red
me.
face.
that's me spacing out. I got no facial hair. As you can see, I have a very small chin, so that's why I like my goatee.
Aw.
Centaur Live. 1985. You were born that year.
That's the year I was born.
Woohoo! All right.
It was a good year.
It was a good
Mark.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, 1987.
Let's go.
Michael Haas.
It's
Welcome
got-
in, Michael.
What's up? Welcome in, Michael. Yeah, 80s babies.
Yeah. There's one quick shot that happened. We were in the studio and we're probably talking about money, like begging our moms for money. That's my dad. Who's
Aw, shout out
huge
to Dad.
huge supporter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like your drum set.
Yeah, it's sick. It was like 2 different drum sets put together to make it bigger. That's the stairs to Connecticut recording studio.
Wow.
Chad, is this bringing back memories?
Blast from the past.
Yes. A lot of it's pretty foggy and spotty memories. That's me like, what the hell are we doing here?
Oh, you got the rolling the rototoms there.
Oh, yeah. That was classic. It's amazing because I put this video on YouTube and we got I got more hits on this thing than like anything I've ever put on, like Handpan stuff. And there were comments that were like, whatever happened to these guys? They should have been part of the big four. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh man, yeah, you guys sound amazing.
You sound great.
Yeah, for a bunch of
Sounds
kids,
like
we
something
really.
that you would hear, like, you know what I mean, like on the radio. So
Yeah, we
professional
really-
sounding.
We really worked hard, and I mean, everyone was so passionate about it, even as just a bunch of crazy kids, really, really passionate.
Yeah, you blend well with the music at the time too. You know.
Whoa, that solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ripping.
Killer.
Like, and these guys are so talented. So, and Mike, I think Mike that just jumped on. He's in this band. I played with Mike. We kind of connected again, and we did a cover band, 80s cover band. A lot of Sabbath. There's Jed.
Jed!
And
With the glasses? Or
no, with the gray sweatshirt.
Oh.
But yeah, Mike and I played in a band called Retro Boss, which was all cover tunes, and we played right up until the pandemic. And Mike, he really never stopped playing from this point, and he was in a bunch of bands, so we were kind of burnt from it, and just it was time to take a little break. And then when I got heavily into the handpan is when I wanted to do Earth Passenger.
so how come you chose the name Centaur? Is it because you guys some like fire signs or a Sagittarius?
We just I couldn't. That was the coolest thing I could think of. People were playing Dungeons and Dragons at the time.
Oh yeah.
I was like, it's a half man, half horse. It seemed cool at the time.
That was my second guess. D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was terrible at D&D, but I probably just saw it and thought it looked cool. I don't know.
It sounded badass.
It's pretty badass. Yeah.
I got a centaur tattooed on my
That's
arm.
what he has on his arm, a centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur rocks.
Yeah,
that
right,
was the same
right at the bottom
back in the-
here.
Oh, heck
Slaying
yeah.
a dragon.
He's pulling. He has a bow and arrow, and then he's
Nice.
fighting a dragon up on
So
the top
this is
here.
the one he wants to color in.
Yeah, I got a color in the
Oh.
centaur on the bottom. So
He started it, but you didn't
Heck
finish
yeah.
it.
if you want a coloring book,
There you go.
there you go.
Heck yeah.
So we'll talk after and see what we can
yeah.
do.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. I love that stuff that you guys were doing.
That's great, man.
I could have, Jed says, I could have sworn we were flipping through a dictionary and then the rest of the reasoning fell into place.
He's probably got a better memory than me. I think I was probably smoking a lot of pot back then, so
No.
maybe I don't know.
Let me see. There's let's show a couple of your handpan
Oh yeah,
videos.
beautiful.
So this one, this is the path
Oh
So
yeah.
there's the path piece
piece
Long
after.
after. regarding
Oh wait,
spirits.
you know what I want to jump on?
Huh?
Now that I see this video, you got a digital handpan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How? What? When? And how?
Yeah,
What?
that's the one that I really want too.
Yeah, so that was a push for me. Like I started to see this particular one is called the Neotone, and what was the most difficult thing with playing live and playing in certain venues with guitar and bass is miking a handpan. It's a difficult thing, and I was showing up to gigs and sound guys were just like, what do I do with this thing, So I was having difficulty bringing volume of the handpan above the bass guitar and having a really good mix. And so this thing was out for a couple years. It had been in production, or had been in the beginning of it. Came like 10 years ago. They started working on this thing, and it was a company in Hungary they were handpan builders, really beautiful handpans, traditional handpans, if you will. And they started to develop this electronic handpan, basically in the idea of almost like a electronic drum set with touch sensitive feel. But it's the technology on this thing is just mind blowing. So I took the jump into it, and it eliminated every guesswork when I play live. It's just a matter of I'm direct into a PA, and I just bring the volume up. I don't have to play harder or anything. I could groove, and just there's no feedback. It's just amazing. So, in recording as well has been a real nice thing. I could record now that I do most of my recording in this space here. So if I'm direct, I don't have my washer machine being recorded. If I have like overhead mics on my acoustic, we'll say handpan. The thing's amazing. I have it next to me. Actually, this is
that's so nice looking.
So yeah, it's a wooden shell, and it's got the pads on it. They're actually touch sensitive, and the body of this thing is actually playable in the sense that, because you can do percussive stuff on a handpan. If you were to hit this, it would be like a little knock of and sound like metal. So they actually incorporated that into the technology, where if you play on here, it picks up and it'll actually resonate these like a real handpan. It's intense. So I'm starting to see it more in the hands of a lot of handpan players that I admire. And it's got the capability of really doing like MIDI stuff, adding like synth stuff on it. It's insane. So one of the biggest things is that I was traveling to gigs with like 6 handpans, and that's not an easy thing to pull off. So now this I can switch with the switch of a button. I could switch scales, so I have all different scales because the handpans are built in specific scales. So you gotta, if it's an F minor or C sharp or whatever. So now I just press a button for a couple seconds and it flips to a new scale. You have the option to build your own scale, so it's limitless. It's amazing.
And it's how is the sensitivity, like hitting it from soft to loud, and like does it really pick up really like smoothly?
Absolutely. Like the first time, most people when they plug this thing in, put a set of headphones on, it's like I watched so many reviews and videos and reached out to friends that I knew across the states that had them. It was like the same thing. Everyone would just hit the thing and be like you were playing an actual handpan, but the sensitivity is there. And on a regular handpan, you can kind of like hold a part of the steel and hit it, and you create harmonics almost like a guitar. And they've actually worked that into this as well. It's insane.
Oh God, I want one so bad.
What about mutes? Can you mute and palm, like having the palm sounds? And...
Can you guys hear that?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
So you have the outer thing. You're gonna get that more metallic, and your bass. Yeah, since you can mute like.
Oh.
And then, like I said, there's harmonics, and then the body itself is. I don't really have my volume turned up, but. It's an amazing instrument.
So fun.
Wow,
Yeah, it's so
beautiful.
fun. It's so fun.
Thank you for demonstrating that.
I can't
That's
wait
nice.
to see him
Yeah.
live, because that must be so incredible live to hear that, and just the resin. Yeah.
It's a fun thing. Like I said, with Earth Passenger, I love the band. I love, Jed and Chuck are just really great people. So it makes the playing that much more intense, and it's just about having fun. So
We got about 10 minutes left of our show, and we've hit so many topics. It was so awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
We loved everything that you've explained and showcased, and you brought us back to your past and your history and
Yeah, thank you
your
so
developments. And you currently have a shop or that you work out of for your tattoos.
Yes, yeah, I own Lucky Soul Tattoo. I've had the shop for 25 years. Woodbridge, Connecticut. I have an amazing crew of about 8 people, and I've been tattooing over 30 years.
Wow.
So I was able to back off a little bit, which gave me the balance, one, to spend time with my daughter and get back into music a little more heavily, because I just felt really strongly about it. So I don't tattoo as much as I used to, but my wife tattoos as well, and like I said, we have a good sized crew. So yeah, Lucky Soul Tattoo in Woodbridge, Connecticut, for all your inking needs.
So it's very selective then when it comes to tattooing. Like, you do certain jobs, certain ones that you
Yeah.
appointment only.
Yeah.
I do, and I'm still open to everything, though. It just I think, again, it's, as an artist, it's really important to keep your ego in check, and the smallest tattoo is still a special thing to someone. So I like the moments, I like having moments with people. I love the connection with that music creates and art, so it's like it's all part of the experience.
Combining it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, so Christopher, he's in California right now, and he texted me, Mommy, what? Okay, because I told him, I was like, you can only get a tattoo if it's meaningful and if the first one is dedicated to me. Okay? And he was like, he's a Leo, right? And
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo, and the Leo, and like the string card in tarot is like one that whenever I do a reading and I see that, it's me and him. So I was like, it would
it's
be
awesome.
nice, and like my Venus is in Leo, and then his moon is in Virgo. So I'm like, I want something to. So the whole thing was, if he was to get one, I was like, damn, I don't have any tattoos, but I
Yeah.
love him so much, and if he said, I want to get one that we can both have together. Like, you have one and I have one. It's like the same one, but it's like
Yeah.
flip inverted, right? So I was like, well, if it has the moon and it's a Virgo, and then I'm the heart of a lion is my Venus, and you're the sun. We're so close, me and him, and we have such a strong connection. He's my firstborn. So like, we've always said we want. I'm like, yeah, but we have to find like the tattoo artist that can do it. You know what I mean? So I was sending him like certain ideas. And I said, don't get it without me. If you're going to get it, don't get it without me. But I was like, I think, Spirit would bring the tattoo artist or whatever it is. If it's going to happen, it's going to, but don't get it without me. And that was like a couple of weeks ago. And so, yeah, he's coming in the spring. But I do feel like, I don't know, if I was to get one, I would want it to be someone spiritual that would want to have that connection and understand that it's also very meaningful to us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you never know. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
you
get
never
my
know.
first one from
We're
Jim.
not too far from you guys, I don't think.
No.
No.
Was there something you want to show on here?
Oh yeah. We wanted to show a clip also of one of your last gigs on the Handpan, because it's so beautiful. Like, just the atmosphere and everything and the energy in I wanted to show it because we got to show Centaur and we got to show Big Sexy.
So we have Spirit Voices 2
Oh, yeah.
Handpan
Sure.
concert. We'll load that one up here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's my friend Sarah. She's an amazing person. So I met Sarah on a gathering. So along the way, I've connected with other handpan players, and now there's a core group that comes to Connecticut to do this show, which, the third one will be in the end of August, actually.
I want to show one of him specifically. This is the one. Is it that one?
Yeah, it's right in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's like little
Yeah, I can't-
sections of
Yeah,
each
yeah.
one, right?
I forget what I
Yeah.
sent you guys, actually.
Yeah, I got it right here. Is
It
this
was
one?
right there. Little.
Let's see. show.
And there he goes. There goes Jimmy.
That's me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was during the Spirit Voices. Yeah.
5 months ago. So you have another show of this coming up. You mentioned.
Spirit Voices 3. So it's
3.
It's a good show. That's my friend Sophia. So it's about 6 of us performing, and then this year I just, like I said, decided to close the show with Earth Passenger because it's a showcase of handpan and what the handpan can be involved in different kinds of feelings of music. So yeah, it's gonna be a good. It's usually sold out, so I hope that we can achieve that again this year. It's a decent sized venue.
Is that the one with Jed that you were gonna show?
This one has this digital, the Neotone.
Oh yeah, I was.
Is this this was at a venue?
This is my space actually.
Oh.
You know, I'll do clips. Really just to. This is early on, I think, when I got this digital handpan, and I hadn't. It's always nice to support like the builders and stuff, so I just put some stuff out on social media just to show the different scales and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff happens late nights.
And then we have. Let's see. I'm gonna find one with Earth Passenger here.
Yeah.
Is it a separate channel for Earth Passenger?
It's the same channel but a different.
Oh, I see it here.
Playlist.
Roadhouse.
Oh, that was
yeah.
the. Yeah, I think there's one clip that's like live at the Cellar is a decent one, I think.
Yeah, that place looks cool to play. What is your favorite venue to play?
Wow. Oh man. So the Gastropark space that we play is just, I like that one. It's got like a brewery feel to it. And it's always good energy. Sherry that books us is a great person, so I really love playing there.
Yeah, the Cellar, we're about to show it right now. It looks like
the Cellar's cool. The Cellar's like a really cool I would say dive bar, I guess, but it's a great venue.
It looks
cool. Move it or lose it.
Move it or lose it.
Earth Passenger.
There's Jed ripping it
up.
Jed. You're so good.
I love that.
So what are you hitting on there on the side?
So that's my Alessi's multi-strike pad. So I'll, like I said, I'll get away from the handpan and do some percussive stuff. And I got some wacky, like, psychedelic sound effects in it, which I love. I probably overuse it, so I like to drive those guys crazy a little bit. It's like weird, like, most of the sounds in there, they early on, they didn't really know about. I would hit something to be like this, like, spaceships
like
and
sound
shit.
Effects.
Yeah. So yeah, but I love that too, because I'll have like congas and bongos in there and cymbals and stuff. And
what's your setup like up there, like on stage?
I think it pans over, but I have my handpans, I have my looper, which is the basis of all the songs. So I do like all my songwriting into my looper, and then the percussion, the electronics. So I'm basically controlling the start and stop of every song. And Chuck's an amazing guitar player.
So cool. And you brought your 2 big handpans with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was before I got the digital.
Electronic.
Again, it was, really tricky to mic those things, so.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And there's probably 2 others on the floor behind me, so it was getting really tricky.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I love it. Can't wait to see you live.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
So, we have reached the last question. on podcasts. And this one is either really easy or really hard. If you did read before you got on the podcast, you will know that it's the 12 songs to the soundtrack of your life. And it usually consists of songs that mean something to you, whether it was the first song you ever played or learned to play, you know, your wedding song, a song that you share with your daughter as a favorite song, or a song that you just like, it's the song of the moment that you love or that reminds you of your childhood, right?
Yeah.
So I love this because it gets really deep, and sometimes, you know, it really constructs what your life means in songs. So what is your soundtrack to your life?
Yes.
All right. So I got my list because I told Luna before, Jed, that was one thing I listened to Jed because he was like, this is the one thing I am prepared for. So I said, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So not necessarily in any order, but so I guess I'll just start at the top. One, R. Carlos Nakai. He's a Native American flute player. Has been around forever. I started listening to him when I was like 18 or 19. And there's a song called Inward Journey, and there was this like repeating flute thing that I used to hear in my head all the time. So it was, even at that young age, I felt this connection to finding some kind of peace. You know, I'm 18, 19 years old, and I'm like angsty in the world. It's a shitty place, and I'm just like, but I would lay down almost every night and listen to, you know, and I'm in the middle of, you know, the 80s, like listening to all my metal stuff, but somehow this music would found me, and I would listen to it almost every night. So R. Carlos, anything from him, really. Native American flute music.
Yeah.
Like, where'd that come
Come
from?
I love
But
that,
it's,
though.
and I still listen to it to this day. It's amazing stuff. Number 2, let's see, Soundgarden, Loud Love. Just that song, like, Soundgarden is probably one of my favorite bands. Loud Love.
What the fuck? Like,
I think it was.
So that's my favorite band, okay? That's my favorite band. I've seen Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog. You know, like
time.
That was one of the bands that I've, you know, that his is Dream Theater, mine's is Soundgarden.
Yeah,
so
Soundgarden,
the love is deep.
I was like living it too. The 90s, I was working for my buddy's dad's moving company. We were like in the van, and we were like smoking pot, and he was like, "You got to check out this band." And I was like, "Whoa!" And it blew. And I think it might have been Loud. It might have been Loud Love, or what was Loud Love on? Was that the album? I can't remember.
Louder Than Love, yeah. It's the one where in the video he's wearing duct tape pants.
That riff is just insane, and it's like, it's so so that changed my life too. So let's see,
Hero's playing the Mercury Lounge next month, and I'm taking him. So he was the original bass player.
Awesome. Number 3, let's see, Bad Brains, Eye Against Eye. Totally like punk, super punk, just I didn't know what those guys were doing. It just, that blew my mind. I still listen to them to this day. Number 4, I said Anthrax. I like Indians because I think it was the first time I heard like this crazy breakdown. You know, it was like when they're like, "Die for the Indians," and they go into this slow, heavy part that's like war. They yell war dance right before it, and it's and I could picture, you know, me as a kid just moshing about in these pits and stuff. So I love that. Blind Melon, I think totally underrated band. People got stuck on the B song. Those guys wrote incredible music. Tones of Home is an amazing song. It's so good. Dave Brubeck, Take 5. Was my parents' favorite song, and I grew up on listening to a lot of jazz and R&B and some Afrobeat stuff, actually. So I love Take 5. It was the first time I heard a screwed up time signature. So I was like, oh, you can do more with time signatures. Dead Can Dance, anything from Dead Can Dance. Amazing band. Really experimental too. So I probably gravitated towards what they were doing. Fishbone, probably all-time favorite band. Again, they were writing these like ska songs, metal songs, fun band. Sunless Saturday is a great song. If you know it or don't know it, check it out. Van Morrison, Into the Mystic. That's a special song with Tracy and I. I'm not a huge Van Morrison fan per se, but I just love. That's our song. I love hearing it. I think it comes on. It makes me think of her and this like drifting off into the sea in this peaceful way. So that's a special one to me. Black Sabbath, The Wizard, all-time favorite song. All-time favorite Black Sabbath song. Just I love everything about it. I love playing that. I played it in Retro Boss, and it's such a grooving, syncopated beat. It's doing all sorts of stuff. 11, I had Clutch, Prophets of Doom. That's just a heavy song, and Clutch is another one of my all-time favorite bands. And then for my 12th song, I put Massive Attack, which was really Massive Attack cool. Was my intro to like electronic music, and Dissolved Girl. I like a lot of their stuff, but Dissolved Girl really caught my ear to hear the combination of electronics and full band and these cool vocals. So
what an amazing list, I gotta say. And it has a lot of everything, it has like beautiful, just a great list all around. Jazz, like classic rock.
Yeah,
got a melting pot of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
everything.
I like it.
It's amazing, and that makes up the 12 songs.
Yeah,
let's go. That's awesome. We're so happy to have you on, and to connect with you. We're excited to see you live soon. We're definitely gonna make a trip to see Earth Passenger, and then whenever you're doing your meditation shows as well, we'll try to make an effort to come out.
That'd be great. Yeah, likewise. I'm gonna try and do the same.
If there's anything that you would like anyone to know now, if there's show dates, social media stuff you like to promote, let everyone know where people can find you and where what's going on next for you.
Yeah, best thing is my Instagram, JimmyJams_71. I update my schedule frequently, and whatever's going on with new music and groups and meditation, it's all on that Instagram page. And that's the easiest way to keep up with all my travels and all that stuff.
Thank you so much
cool.
for giving us this time and space, and we can't wait to see more of Jimmy.
Yes.
So
everyone who tuned in, make sure you're following Jimmy. Give us a subscribe to our channel. We have another show coming up next week on Sunday. It's going to be awesome with Jai. I'm going to butcher his last name, Kaminoff, who is the guitar tech of Gojira and Animals as Leaders.
Oh.
And who's the other band?
Seven Dust.
Seven Dust he worked with. Yeah, it's going to be awesome to hear his experience.
Yeah.
And get some insight on the tech of what it's like to work with amazing musicians and on tour, with the Olympics and whatnot with Gojira. So tune in next Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, here live on YenYorkCity.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. And remember, stay metal, but remember to meditate.
Meditate.
Love you guys.
Bye.